Whether you're watching, listening or reading this, welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog, where we're on a mission to raise £1 million for children's charities by run vlogging on consecutive days the distance of one lap around the world. It is a staggering 40,075 kilometres. It's going to take somewhere in the region of 11 years to accomplish. I'm plenty of time to raise the money. I'm going to commit to running a minimum of 5 kilometres per day whilst vlogging, and I'll even do it barefoot style. So for those regulars who know that I vlog about my passions, which are entrepreneurship and running, most importantly how these topics link together to help people overcome the emotions of stress, overwhelm and anxiety by using exercise as a release mechanism. It is a beautiful morning today. The sun is shining. It's about 12 degrees, not too windy, so beautiful running conditions. And it is Tuesday Tactics today, where we discuss all things business systems and outsourcing. And today's topic are the top 5 reasons why you have to outsource. So, as always, please support this epic challenge by subscribing to this channel and sharing it and liking it, and let's get started. So, what is outsourcing? Okay, I touched on this in last week's episode where I kind of touched on the pros and cons of outsourcing, but I'm going to dive a bit deeper on the 5 main reasons you should outsource. And first and foremost, what is outsourcing? Well, there's lots of different definitions to this. Lots of people assume outsourcing is to a third party contracting firm or some kind that will do some form of work for you. But I use this as my definition is anybody but you. Okay, so you can outsource to your mum, you can outsource to remote workers or virtual assistants in places like the Philippines or Bangladesh. You can outsource to accounting firms, you can outsource to legal professionals, you can have employees that you outsource to, which would normally be referred to as delegation. But I encompass the whole thing. If it's not you doing it, and you've instructed somebody else to do, then in my books that is outsourcing. Okay, so that's my definition for the relevance of this episode. So what are the top 5 reasons you have to outsource and you have to get it, integrate it into your life? Well, I say have to. It depends on what you're trying to achieve, but certainly if you're in the entrepreneurial space and you're looking to grow and scale a business, then you have to be outsourcing. I don't know any other way. A lot of people go, oh, automation. Automation will only get you so far, but automation isn't sophisticated enough in so many industries. In manufacturing, to a degree, they've gotten it to a level now where it's extremely effective. But in most other businesses, and certainly for small business owners, the cost of that automation isn't viable. Outsourcing is an absolute essential. Now, I talk about the 3 pillars or the main core competencies that you need to grow and scale a successful business. And in no particular order, they are systems and processes. If you don't have systems and processes, this is what businesses are built on. If you don't have them, it will just be you being self-employed, ultimately. Okay, that's what differentiates between self-employed and a business owner. And even in some self-employed people have lots of systems and processes as well, but trying to get to a situation where the business can operate as its own independent entity is what we're trying to accomplish here. Number 2 is people. And this is what we're talking about today with outsourcing. Is, like I say, automation will get you so far. If you want to grow and scale a successful business, you have to have people involved. And number 3 is data. Okay, data and reporting keeps you on track on how you're trending towards your goals. Are you falling away? What's going right? What's going wrong? It gives you the evidence to make changes and tweak and iterate to get you back on the right track. So they're the 3 foundations to grow and scale a successful business. So back onto the topic, we were talking about the core competency of people and the importance of outsourcing. So number 1, the first, and this is in no particular order, but the first main reason why you need to outsource is you'll save money. It might sound crazy, oh, what I'm outsourcing, we'll be paying for somebody else, but otherwise you'll be doing those low kind of level tasks which will be distracting you from doing the most important things in your business. So wouldn't it be more beneficial to pay, and it's so affordable, bringing in remote workers or virtual assistants from places like the Philippines, Bangladesh, the Far East. You get incredibly talented people, and because the cost of living in those countries are so much lower, you can get people for £3 to £4 an hour, and you don't have to take them on full time. You might give someone 10 hours a week, but those 10 hours is 10 hours of lower level work that you don't necessarily have to do, which enables you to focus on the most important things in your business, which should be income generation. So it will save you money and actually make you money by doing it. So that's reason number one. Reason number two, and all these reasons are quite entwined and linked, by the way, you'll save time. Okay, well, let's look at it. A full-time job is predominantly 40 hours a week. Okay, so if you are a one-man band or self-employed, you've got 40 hours of output, okay, to generate whatever your turnover in your business is. By bringing somebody in to take a few tasks off of your plate, to some of the less important or simplified work off of your plate, it gives you, 50, 60, 70 hours a week of output for your business. And the more people you bring in, the more time you generate in terms of output. It's like leverage. So you're leveraging your money and you're leveraging your time. So leverage is a really, really key word here, and it can be applicable to both time and money. But time is a finite resource and commodity, and it's so undervalued. People are starting to become more aware of how valuable their time is, and when it starts running out. So understand this and leverage it to get the maximum gains in the shortest space of time. So number three is focus and priorities. Okay, so if you've outsourced, whether it's contractors or virtual assistants or contracting firms, and they're taking off kind of the specialist work that either they're geared up to kind of deal with, or lower level administrative work, it frees you up to focus on the most important things in your business. Okay, so you'll be able to focus on the high income generating tasks, the most important tasks in your business. Okay, and this is super, super important, because this is how you grow a business, focusing on the right things. And just by freeing yourself up, just imagine that, doing bookkeeping, very important, but it's not driving revenue. Okay, so if you're spending 2 hours a week doing bookkeeping, that's 8 hours a month, probably a little bit more, maybe 9 hours a month, that you've lost there. It's a whole day you've lost. Just think, if you spent a day negotiating joint venture partnerships or big contracts with key customers, if you had a day every month that you could do that, at the end of the year, do you think you'd be earning more money or less money by doing the bookkeeping or focusing on the high income generation activities? Well, it's obviously a no-brainer. So it's clearly going to be focusing on the high level income generation activities. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is freeing yourself up and giving yourself enough time to be able to do that. Running in the country, running past horses and ponies, how beautiful. But anyway, I digress. So that's number three. Number four is it reduces your risk, especially when you're going through a growth phase. A lot of people have employees. I don't. I have contractors. I have partners, or I have outsourced third-party companies that I work with, or I have outsourced contractors, or remote workers, as I like to call them, or virtual assistants, as they're more commonly known. But I do class my virtual assistants or remote workers as employees, as being permanent, even though they're on a contracting basis. Okay, I give them the benefits that they get if they're employed, because they are my team. Now that's how I operate. It's not how everybody does. But if you chose to, okay, when you grow, you can choose to grow into certain areas by taking on, additional resource through remote workers or virtual assistants or outsource firms. And usually the get out, if things go wrong, are a lot easier than if you employ people. So when you're looking at growing, people are a core competency of growing and scaling a successful business. So you need additional people, additional resource. If you bring in permanent employees, you're tied with fixed overhead. If you bring in outsourced contractors, you can get a similar standard and caliber of individual, usually for a more cost-effective way. But the key here is it de-risks you, because if things don't work with the new venture or the new growth channel, you can remove that overhead more effectively. Now, I don't suggest you ever go in to an opportunity with this mindset, but you do have to have a contingency planning, and outsourcing gives you that level of flexibility, so it can de-risk your situation quite considerably. And the fifth one is talent. Okay, it's a great way, because quite often when I'm bringing new people into the business, I can test people relatively easily without, crazy legal contracts of employment and all that side of things. But bringing in outsourced contractors, and I want, people, I can bring people in on probationary period for a few weeks. I can bring multiple people and see who's the best for a certain role, because A, it's more cost effective than if you recruit locally, when you take into account the cost of living in outsourced countries, and B, you can outsource to some of the most amazing talented people. I'm fortunate enough to have 10 full-time remote workers in my team, and each of them are valued equally. I think they're all degree or graduate level. I think a handful of them have got masters, incredibly intelligent, capable individuals and the education system, certainly in places like the Philippines, is very Americanized, which is obviously a very solid education system. So incredibly capable people. People always think, I'll bring them in to do low-level tasks. And that's always normally the first step, as you embed a new member of the team into your business and your values and culture, etc. But once you've got kind of to that stage, it's starting to unlock their true potential, empower them to grow and develop and be part of your team, and treat them like employees. All of my team are considered employees, even though we're on a contractor setup. And it's amazing. I mean, I have super talented people. I have graphic designers, I have video editors, I have data analysts, I have project managers, I have systems and processes based people, I have marketing experts, funnel builders, I have copywriters, I have a PA. All these different roles have been outsourced and have been the single most important reason whilst I've been able to grow 8 businesses. And without the team, I'd be nothing. And I always talk about flat hierarchical structures. I don't see myself as the leader in the team. We're all part of a team. It just happens that my role is the vision and the strategy, opening the new opportunities, setting up and working on the systems and processes. But I even start outsourcing that now, and it's due to the team that we're in the position we are. We've got a long way to go, but we are in a very positive and a huge potential position at the moment. And the team, I have to be incredibly thankful for, including the partners, obviously, for those reasons. So they are the 5 reasons. The 5th one is talent. Don't think that you have to employ to get the best talented people. Absolutely, I outsource, and I have some of the most talented people around on my team, and it's truly a pleasure to be working with these guys on a day-to-day basis. So hopefully that helps. I've given you the 5 reasons. To summarise why you need to be outsourcing is it will save you money. 2, it will save you time. 3, it will allow you the space to focus on the most important income generating activities rather than lower level administrative work. Number 4, it de-risks when you're going through a growth phase, when you're resourcing and growing. Having outsourced contractors as opposed to fixed employees makes you more liquid should things go wrong. So really, really important there. And number 5 is to open up a whole world of talent at an amazingly affordable rate. And I bring people in line with their cost of living. That's always been my strategy, but I reward them with profit share. Okay, and I'm building a profit share scheme at the moment so that they can enhance their earning potential and feel truly like they are part of the business, because they are. And I reward them with profit share on that basis. So that's how I have outsourced and made a monumental difference to my personal and business life. So hope that's useful. Any questions and stuff, drop me a comment. I respond to everyone. If it's a bigger question, I'll do a separate vlog episode and tag you in. Please check out the links in my bios where you can keep up to date with my monumental challenge to raise £1 million for children's charities by run vlogging on consecutive days, the distance of 1 lap around the world. So please give that as much support as you possibly can. It doesn't have to be financial, just subscribing and sharing the content goes a long way to helping the cause. So all that's left to say is that, as I discussed, my content is always about entrepreneurship and running and how most importantly, it helps people overcome the emotions of stress, overwhelm and anxiety by using exercise as a release mechanism. And we all experience these daily, weekly pressures in the form of stresses. And if we don't have a process for processing what's happened, gaining clarity, clearing our head and refocusing, okay, it will just start becoming too much, and the stresses and the pressures build up like pressure builds in a pipe. If you don't relieve those daily, weekly stresses on a regular basis, you'll begin to slip into the world of overwhelm, where you have too many things going on in your world and you don't know where to start, you don't know what to focus on. It's almost like you freeze and you have a seizure because there's too many things going on. You procrastinate, and then very, very quickly you drift into the world of panic and anxiety, which is when you're flirting with the edge of mental health issues. And in this scenario, the pressure gets so extreme in the pipe bursts. In that scenario, you have a mental breakdown. And I've pretty much been there. I haven't officially had a mental breakdown, but I've almost been there, because I've lost multiple businesses because of this. I've lost multiple business partners because of this, and I've almost been bankrupt. And believe you me, it's a horribly dark place, and I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. So my pledge to you is that there's no coincidence that in the last 11 months of doing this running vlog, which is my release mechanism, that I've made more progress in all facets of my life than I have done in the previous 4 to 5 years. So hopefully there's enough social proof this stuff works. And my olive branch to you is, if you are someone struggling with this, drop me a message. There's no catch here. As always, the Runpreneur vlog is not for profit, okay? So there's no sale, okay? So we'll jump on a call and I'll give you a step-by-step guide on how we can get you back on the right path. So don't miss out on that olive branch. I don't know how long it'll be available for. I've helped hundreds of entrepreneurs and people in general over the years with exactly this topic, so I'm well qualified to help you. Help is often available, it's often free. You just have to be prepared to ask for it. And it's normally easier asking a stranger than nearest and dearest. So take advantage of that offer if it's relevant to you. So that's pretty much it for me today. As always, do check the links in my bios where you can find all of my content, and most importantly, more about the Runpreneur Challenge of raising £1 million for children's charities. And I'll leave you with, as always, stay positive, stay happy. I'll see you tomorrow.